The moment you step foot on Mustafar, the first thing you'd notice is the heat, an overwhelming, all-consuming heat. In fact, if you look closely, you'll see your shoes are already melting into the scorched ground beneath you. Mustafar is one of the deadliest places in the galaxy, for two main reasons. First, the planet is covered in rivers of lava that come from the near constant volcanic eruptions, every 2.5 seconds to be exact. And second, its atmosphere is a toxic nightmare, filled with gases like sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide that burn your lungs with every breath. It's toxic, but not quite fatal. Well, usually. Imagine standing inside an oven preheated to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Now crank that heat up 4 times higher, and instead of dry air, the walls are bleeding molten rock. That's what it's like to breathe on Mustafar. The heat doesn't just make you sweat, it cooks you alive. Your skin peels off like burnt paper, your blood starts to boil, and even if you could somehow survive the surface temperatures, the air itself is a death sentence. Mustafar isn't just hot, it's the galaxy's version of hell, where the ground flows, the sky burns, and just being there is enough to turn you into smoke. Your odds of survival go a little further up if you stay on platforms above the lava instead of the bare ground. Places like metal walkways and floating droid platforms that were built with advanced tech to withstand the extreme heat. But if you step 1 foot off one of those, it's game over. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Hoth. Unlike Mustafar, this planet is completely and permanently frozen. So instead of melting, you'd quickly become a frozen solid block when the temperatures drop to about minus 150 degrees Fahrenheit at night. For reference, that's about 3 times colder than the average temperature in Antarctica during the winter. During the day, it quote-unquote warms up to a bone-chilling minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which means if you didn't have the proper equipment, your body would start to freeze in just 30 seconds. But what about someone like you, who's tough enough to handle the cold? Well, Hoth still has plenty of tricks up its sleeve. This icy wasteland is home to the Wampa, a massive 10-foot tall predator covered in thick white fur. It blends perfectly into the snow, just waiting to ambush its next meal, with razor-sharp claws and a crushing bite. If a Wampa spots you, there's a good chance you're on the menu. And that's not even the worst of it. Hoth is constantly battered by brutal snowstorms that will make it impossible to see more than just a few inches ahead. If you get caught in one, you'd quickly lose your way, wandering aimlessly until you collapse, turning into a human popsicle or a cold human kebab. Even if by some miracle the cold and the predators don't get you, there's always a chance of being crushed by falling ice from the many frozen caverns. Or perhaps the joy of starving to death, since there's virtually nothing to eat on the entire planet, unless you develop a taste for raw snow lizard meat. These furry snow lizards, known as tauntauns, might seem like a convenient mode of transportation, but they're also known to throw their riders off their backs when spooked. Imagine landing face first in the snow, breaking several bones, and then watching helplessly as your only means of transportation slowly gallops away into the abyss. Now that would suck. And if all that wasn't enough, Hoth's atmosphere has significantly less oxygen than what humans need to operate. Meaning, even if you somehow avoid freezing to death, your brain would